All right, good morning. Well, it's we're back out of the shop with a fresh mind, so we're going to see about disassembling this a little further. You know, piece by piece, I'd like to get it all the way apart, and I think we want to get it in the parts washer, get the handles off, you know, so we can, of course, get all that washed up, cleaned up, and ready to go. Take it apart as far as we can. So, you know, that's what we're going to do. Some of it I'll show on camera, but I think you get the gist of it. All the parts are going to come off, and they're going to get put in the parts washer again. We'll probably utilize our little strainer buckets, these things right here, and put parts in them. Of course, I still have my calipers from my flea market find in here, so those still need to go in some evaporust, and those will get cleaned up too. But we're going to use these strainer baskets to put all the small parts in and just swoosh them around, get them all cleaned up, and this will help keep them separated too. So we'll use those. Let me put these up. And then we're going to get it all painted and put back together. So, where do we start? We just need to start somewhere. So let's go ahead and take the get the half nut handle off of there. You know, let me put some gloves on first before I get nasty like I did yesterday. I had black everywhere yesterday, so camera's got it on it. And I would buy the white edition of that Canon camera, like a dummy, but you can tell when it's dirty. So, let's see here. That's the top and the bottom half nut. Let me grab a tray right quick. Try to keep all this separated if I can. That's the bottom part, or that's the top part, that's the bottom. That's that gear, that's for the spur gear. And then this here needs to slide out of the way so I don't ruin it. Alright, and there's some little copper pipe. I'll probably just replace this copper pipe too. And it has wicking in it, and it goes for the oil passages between that back plate and this front one here. So it looks like that needs to come loose. The adjustment for the half nut. So that's loose. I've been really lucky. Everything has really come apart fairly simple on this thing. I think I've had one, I don't want to say loose one, but hard one in that wiper in the saddle. So now this should let me turn it so I can get to this taper pin. Just got to know which side is which here. With the small end and the big end. Now let's go with small end. So let me grab a punch right here. It's too big, so let me grab another punch. Still too big. Third time's a charm, huh? Let's get a mic and just double check that right quick, or get the calipers out. Ooh, about time for a battery in this thing. So that's a little tough to get to. That's Alright, we're gonna have to change the battery. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and wouldn't you know it, I would be hitting on the wrong side. So I got to get this handle flipped around. So let's take this down a gear. Really? Not gonna be able to get to it? That's gonna suck. Huh? No, it's not. I wonder if they turned that whole thing. That'd be awesome if it is. So let's take this handle off first here. Man, these taper pins sometimes are a pain in the butt to figure out which is the small end. That one's a small one this time. Ah, got one that popped right out. What do you know? That doesn't happen very often. And you know what? I'm gonna Ziploc bag that one up. So put that there. Where's my little tribal one? There we go. So that's that. All right, so now I can get this out. Hopefully. Right there like that. Where's my punch? My hammer. All right now. There we go. There we go. And now, that's gonna be a pain in the ass to put back in though. Alright, that's that. And that's that. So there's this. Definitely gonna put it back together. So that's that handle. I think I'm just gonna polish that up. And that's awesome, man. How that's made. It just goes to show the, you know, the craftsmanship back in the day. You know? I thought that was a hole for an Allen wrench or something like that to hold this part on, because I figured they made 3 separate pieces, but this is all one piece, and then this is a piece. I'm assuming that it's screwed in there. I'm not going to take it apart. We'll just polish it up. But awesome. So that's that. So moving on. What's next? This bottom piece comes right out. Oh yeah, that's the one for the handle here. So let's put it all back together so we don't lose parts here. I'm loving this lathe, how stuff's put together, that's for sure. Alright. Next, so that takes care of that side. So now, you know what, let's put it on its here. At least that's flat. Because these handles got springs or something and it's a little different. You gotta figure out how to take that apart. I wonder if that Woodruff key holds all that stuff in. Kind of hard to tell. Something's got to hold that shaft in and hold this. Okay, that's for the oil pump, so we'll deal with it last. So let's see if we can get that out of there. Screwdriver. I think it's a Woodruff key. All right, time to do a little investigation. We'll be back. Alright, so I got one of them. I believe that was for the cross slide feed taken off, and there's a boatload of bearings in that thing too. So I thought it had a taper pin, but it doesn't have a taper pin. It's just a regular roll pin here, and one side is pretty mangled up. So alright, sorry about that. My camera died in my overhead camera, so I'm trying to give a perspective looking straight down if I can, instead of looking always at me or the lathe. So let me put on some more gloves here. And what I need, oh, look at there. That's what you get for having big wet hands. What I need to have is like 5 or 6 cameras just mounted all the time, and then we just turn them all on and then edit it later on. But syncing them all up, that might be a pain in the ass. Or that might be a pain in the butt. Alright, so that came out all. It has a adjusting screw in the front of the handle, and that adjusts the tension for the engagement levers. So you have a cross slide feed and the longitudinal feed. And they both are held in with a pin, just a regular old straight pin. I thought it was a taper pin, but they're just straight pins. So the first thing we got to do is we take out the set screw in the outside, or the adjusting screw I should say. So we'll take it out. I don't know that it's necessary though, but we're going to take it out. So that comes out, and then it has just a regular, not a roll pin, but a straight pin. So I'm going to keep these totally separate. So I don't know that it matters. Let me grab another tray. If you're into redoing stuff, man, get some trays or something that, you know, egg cartons. You see all kinds of stuff to keep stuff separate, but I like those cafeteria trays. They're pretty cheap on Amazon. So now I got a straight pin I got to take out. I get my biggest punch to get it started. Ooh. Go. And then there's bearings everywhere. So that goes there, that goes there. There's bearings inside here. Okay, that's good. It came all out in one piece. So we're definitely going to order some more new bearings and stuff. The gears, everything looks really good. So let me take this apart. I mean, it looks really good. There's another set of bearings. So we have, you know, a set of thrust bearings here, another set right in here, another set here. So we're going to kind of stand all this up and try to keep it together as much as I can. So that goes there. I can figure that one out. So we're going to clean all this stuff up individually. So let me move my coffee out of the way. So we have another tray. Now what's next? You got to be getting close to the end. Can't be much left on here. This shaft here, I think I'm going to leave that in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that in here. So now, oh, the oil pump, that's what that is. Alright, so we got a straight screw. Hopefully this overhead camera is getting this, if I keep my big head out of the way. So, I'll tell you what, let's get another tray. I can't remember how many of these I bought. 20 of them? It doesn't matter, we're using them. Well, that comes off easy. This thing is, very, very, very well put together. And I wasn't going to take it this far apart, but, I got to thinking about it and I said, getting the paint job and I want to polish up the handles. And even those handles come off of those, so I might be, I might paint part of it and then polish just the ends. I don't know yet. Maybe I can go back and look at some pictures and some original. Hopefully I can find a color picture of one, that'd be awesome. But even the black and white should give me an idea of if they were polished or painted. So this should come off. And that's a gunky mess. Or that could be just wool felt. Good gosh. So that could be what that is. So let's see, can I stand it on the end? No, not really. Oh well, you're gonna have to live with a side shot. That's too big. There it is. So like I said, everything has been coming apart pretty daggone easy. So I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. I still got some stuff to rebuild on it. But we're getting down to the, oops. You know what, let's pick that stuff out. We're getting down to the end rows here. Like the cross slide's done. I have the parts to go ahead and get the oiling system at least back together on it. And then what else is left? The tailstock, the chuck. Get the figure out my power. That's, still got to do that. But we're getting there. And that crane has been a huge lift, or pun intended. It's been a big help. Because none of this big stuff, I could have got it in there and out of there and handled by myself. Even when my brother's over here, I don't know that we could have got this stuff into the parts washer and then safely and then back out. Getting it in there is, not too bad. You can almost let it drop. But one thing, I don't want to poke a hole in the parts washer. It is made out of 1/8" metal, but still. We kind of built it robustly. Ooh, a couple more hidden down there. Didn't see those. I got to clean my tools up again too. I think they're going to have to go in the parts washer. So the way this oil pump works, I figured it out. It rides on an eccentric like a fuel pump in a car. So every time you crank the handle, it pumps oil up into the oiling system. It pumps it into the ways, and look at there, came right off. I covered it anyway. And there's the sight glass that's broken. So it's the one that had the brass. So it's dry rotted. Man, there's no telling how much oil hasn't been in there. So we'll definitely replace that. Gotta figure out what this is here. If it's just gunk. Yeah, that's just dirt. So it could have been felt. or a filter or something at one time. Whatever it is, we'll definitely get it cleaned up. No, I think it's just gunk. Just built up gunk. It's a dang shame. You know? It's all probably because, you know, it just ran dry. It's got a filter in it. Or it's got a screen. The screen seems clear. We'll see if we can locate anything or get all that cleaned off. I hope you can see that. But, I mean, it's just nasty. Nasty mess. That's all that is. So, use something flat to kind of clean the screen off. Lay that there, clean my hands off. I wonder what the chances are of us turning this by hand and seeing oil shoot through it. What do you think? Is it worth the effort? I see movement up here. So, brake cleaner or oil? What do you think? Let's try brake cleaner. Well, it's wanting to pick it up, but I don't see none coming through the end, so let's continue taking it apart. Look at that, got it all in my coffee. Alright, so how do you come off? I see threads. Can't see much of nothing else down in there though. There it is. These have been the best things. Straight clip, these straight picks and a I don't know that that's just not a pin to put a screw in it and help pull it out. And a flashlight. You gotta have a flashlight. Yeah, I don't think. Let's just take this quarter 20 and run down in there and see if that just doesn't pull out. I mean, the case holds it in, so. Alright, that's what it's for. Get it out a little more, or let's see if we can get it out all the way. There's that. There's that. God, I hope this overhead is getting all this stuff because I got to put it all back together. So that works there. Now that comes out here. Ooh, needle bearings. Got to be careful there. That goes there. All right. Don't take care of them. They'll be all down in the bottom of the parts washer. So what else? So I can get it cleaned up. We might just put it in the purple power and then look at it later. Let's see. There's a train right here. We'll take it out, and I see another oil spout or oil thing over here. We're going to pry it out too. So I think we got it all the way apart. One lathe carriage. There's that copper pipe I was talking about. So one lathe apron disassembled. So the plans are now, I'm going to measure up all of the bearings that we need, get those ordered. I got to keep care not to get to hurt these needle bearings, so I might go back to the wood shop and just, you know, get a dowel or something in there to stick those in, or I might take them all out and put them all in the wire baskets. Either way, so let's see what else. I think that's it. So these go in the parts washer. Everything's going to get cleaned up. I'm going to get everything cleaned up, all the bearings ordered, and then hopefully the next thing you'll see is everything being reassembled. So I got, I think, 2 weeks of John and John's podcast to listen to, a couple of YouTube videos. So I'm going to sit out here. I'm going to get this stuff in the parts washer and cleaned up and get some stuff ordered and listen to the podcast. So next week we'll hopefully have all fresh painted parts, new bearings, and everything ready to be assembled. We'll get rid of the dirty table and we'll change it over to an operating clean room, and we'll get it all back together. So until next time, see ya.